here.
Sozialdemokrat.
On behalf of the S&D Group, Mr. Kalfin will be the next speaker.
Thank you, President. It is absolutely no sense to talk about growth if we don't create the instruments for growth. And the European budget is one of the strongest instruments to provide growth in Europe. This is not like the national budgets. This is not just another tax burden for the citizens. The European budget is not just another expenditure from the national budgets. It is small, but it is efficient. It creates economies of scale, it creates economies of scope, and it can direct investments at European level at a very targeted goals. The European budget currently is 44 times less than the national budgets in Europe. It costs every European citizen a coffee per day. This is the cost of Europe for the European citizens. At the same time, it is decreasing over the last 20 years by 20% in relative terms. At the same time, the national budgets are increasing in the last years. In 2011, 23 out of 27 countries increased the national budgets. In 2012, 24 of 27 countries increased the national budgets. So I would argue that Europe is becoming weaker, if anything, because the European budget is becoming weaker and the national budgets are becoming stronger. This is what we are making in the last years. The European budget goes back to the member states. 94% of the European budget goes back to the member states. For example, I have met a Polish minister. From €1 invested in cohesion policy, nearly 70 cents go back to the old member states, to the contributors. From the investments made in cohesion between 2000 to 2006, we have 0.7% growth in Europe. And that might reach 4% later on. So when we speak about the European budget, this is not a budget which is spent badly. By the way, Mr. Callanan, the European Court of Auditors said that the UK is one of the examples to have high error rate in spending the European money. This is not a reason to decrease the European budget. You have to fix the systems in the United Kingdom. And when we speak about the own resources, that means that we have to decrease the national contributions. And that would help the consolidation of the national budgets. So we would very much insist on what the Parliament adopted and an increase of the European budget. Thank you very much, President.
Herr Kalfin, es gibt eine...
Now, Mr. Kalfin, the Earl of Dartmouth would like to ask you a question. Would you accept it? Okay, go ahead.
Sir, I don't see how you can possibly say that the European budget is